Hey guys, it's Nicolette again. Today I was having a conversation with a group of people and I just thought, there is three things that really hinder us as black people from making the right financial decisions. Sometimes you find yourself being really on track with what you were doing, your financials, you're following your budget, but then just creeps in these three things that you just don't understand, Wuti, how to actually handle them. And those three things for me are: number one, your ego. Number two, your emotional intelligence. And then number three, something called abantu bazothini. Basically, what will people say? And I was thinking about this one time that I went to a shop, Luminance, in Hyde Park, and I really did not know why I ended up there. I needed an outfit for some event that was actually happening. So I took a dress. Okay, found the dress. I kind of knew how much it was and I expected the price. So I was happy with the price of the dress because I had actually saved up some money for me to be able to buy a dress of that price, right? Okay, sharp, no problem. This is a few years ago, by the way. Didn't really have a lot of money. But I had savings. I had discipline enough to save. Then the dress needed a belt, of course. So I took down a belt. I didn't even check the price of the belt because, it's a belt. It's a damn belt. How much can a belt really cost? Now, obviously, I'm in Luminance, okay? You must understand. And that obviously didn't register in my head that I'm actually in Luminance. So the price of a belt might not be the same as the price of a belt in a Mr. Price. But nonetheless, I took the belt because I thought, it's just a belt. You know what I mean? I get to the till and they scan the dress. It's fine, the price of the dress. Okay, I'm okay with it because I was expecting it. My friends, then they scanned the damn belt. And the belt was 3,000 Rand, guys. I could not believe how expensive that belt was. 3,000 Rand for a belt. Guys, that's a lot of money. I really don't care what shop it is that you are at. 3,000 Rand for a belt is a lot of money. But now I knew it was a lot of money. While I stood there trying to fish for my card in my bag, I knew that 3,000 Rand was a lot of money. But now I'm standing in front of these tellers, right? It is at Luminance. Obviously, in my head, what's running in my head is, what did you expect? You came to the shop, you wanted to shop, and now you are embarrassed to tell these people, I can't afford that belt. And my ego literally bought that belt, not because I could afford it, but because I had to now go and dig into my emergency fund to be able to buy this belt. And I knew when I left it that it was my ego. I was not proud of myself, I must say. I was actually so upset with myself. But what I realized is that the ego has so much power. The personal ego has so much power to derail us from our financial decisions and the things that we are supposed to be doing. And I'll give you an example. People walk into a club. Let's say we use Taboo, for instance. You walk into a club and the club says to you, or the waiters, you know how they are. They say to you, basically, you can't sit down. And you're like, can't sit down. Why can't I sit down? And they tell you it costs you a bottle for you to be able to sit down. And you're just like, So now I must buy a bottle just so that I can sit down. But your ego kicks in because now you feel kind of like embarrassed because now this girl just said to you, no, you can't sit down on these chairs because you don't have enough money to buy a bottle. Now you end up buying a bottle. End up buying 1.8 bottle of vodka when that bottle in the shop is like 200 Rand because of your ego. You did not plan on buying a bottle when you got to the club, but now you're finding yourself buying a bottle just because you want to sit down and you don't want to feel like now they've told you can't sit down. And like in our personal spaces, in our circles, we're important. Now you go to the club and they tell you can't sit down and you're just like, a whole chair, guys. Now I gotta be standing in the club with my drink like this because I can't sit down because I can't afford 1.8. Do they know me? I can afford 1.8 and you end up buying a bottle of 1.8. But you really did not need to or plan to. So, our egos are very fragile and it's very important that we understand ourselves as people. And the only way you can understand yourself is once you start gaining a thing called emotional intelligence. But you need to gain financial emotional intelligence. And that thing is the most important thing that you will ever gain in your life. And I'll give you an example. When they said they're going to raise a special levy here in the complex that I was living in, the estate that I'm living in, I was like, they were like 10,000 Rand. And not really, rightfully so. 10,000 Rand for security is not too bad, right? It's not too bad. And probably within 2-3 months, I can save that money and I can be able to pay for it. But for me, it was not about affordability. It came to matters of principle. Why do we keep raising special levies as if we've got a well of unlimited money where we can just go? If something breaks here, we can just go and fetch money from somewhere else. And now we must pay this amount of money. And I was like, for me, what's really important is that you get to a point where you no longer care to abantu bazotini. Where you just like, actually, I'm going to the club and I really like Smirnoff Spin. So I'm going to drink Smirnoff Spin because I actually like Smirnoff Spin. I'm not now going to go buy champagne because I can afford it. Because really, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Now you want to be in the club drinking the right type of drink. That time, what is the right type of drink? Really, who decides what's the right type of drink? So, it's really important that as a person, as people, especially as Black people, because we grew up with nothing. We grew up not having. So we always feel like we need to have. We grew up with somebody saying you can't have, and now all of a sudden you want to have because it's like cornflakes. I always make an example with cornflakes, and I'm like, when you were young, and you're in your mom's house, you couldn't eat cornflakes during the day with somebody either like why you pretend like you're what, or they'll tell you that it's breakfast food. I mean, really, please, anything can be lunch food. I can eat whatever I want at any time. And that's the thing, is that because we grew up not having, or we grew up not allowed to do certain things, we do them now because because we've got child emotions inside us that say, but I can do whatever I want, it's my money, who's gonna tell me, those kind of things. So I think the one thing that we need to really build as people is financial emotional intelligence, to be able to understand that when you spend your money, but you must spend your money using a blueprint, a financial blueprint that says you can now do this and do that. And also, what's really important is that you use a budget, right? Okay, fine. Now we tell everybody use a budget. And a lot of people know how to use a budget. A lot of people know how to budget. But there are a lot of people in this country also lie on their budget. You know what I mean? Don't be too hard on yourself on your budget. If you know good utanda ubumnandi, make sure that you put enough money towards ubumnandi bakho. And that's really important. But you also need to understand that what happens on the one side must happen on the other side. So if you know that you're the type of person othanda ubumnandi, you now need to know there are two things that you can do. You can either reduce something on the one side, or you can add additional income stream so that ubumnandi bakho is catered for. In actual fact, find a job that will pay for ubumnandi bakho. Because that's what throws people off budgets. The small things. It's budgeting only 2,000 rand for club or for drinking or for partying. And then one day one of your friends says, you know what, I feel like a drink. And you're already over your budget off. But you're like, man, I'm sure I've got a little bit of money for me to buy a drink. And it's the small things, the small onion things that you now end up being out of your budget because of those small things that you did not budget for. So I always over budget for certain things on my budget. And that's how I actually stick to my budget. And sometimes I'm so proud of myself because I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually beat my own budget. So it's important that as a person, you are very realistic on your budget. So don't create an impractical budget. Create a practical budget that is well within your emotional intelligence, because that budget then is going to guide you in terms of what financial decisions to make and what financial decisions not to make. So, just to recap, the 3 things that you need to really watch out for that can become a hindrance to your financial decisions. Number 1, it is an ego. The human ego it's called pride. Empty pride, where you are so proud that you end up making financial decisions that are silly. Sometimes we do it with cars. We buy cars that we really should not be buying. You know what I mean? Because I'm just like, who's going to tell me that I can't drive a Mercedes Benz? Who's going to tell me that I shouldn't drive my Skiroko Ara? I'm the one who works for that money. And it's fine. But just have the right emotion to know why you are spending money also on a certain thing, and understand why you need a certain thing, right? And I always say, but if you've budgeted for it, by all means, go for it. But also, and this is another conversation for another day that we need to talk about, we need to stop buying for now. Instant gratification needs to fall, because we love buying things impulsively and we don't think about the future. Today, you might earn 20,000 rand and have a disposable income of 12,000 rand. You go and buy a car that is going to have an installment of 11,000 rand. You've got 1,000 rand left, and then you fall pregnant. Or something else happens. You get you need to move, and now your rent needs to increase, or another financial implication comes up, and you now need to make sure that you've got money for that. But now you are committed for the next 5 years to paying 11,000 rand for a car. So we always must make financial decisions that also have a thought process of what's going to happen in the future. What if I need to release another disposable income? Am I going to get an additional job, which might be harder than you making the correct financial decisions today so that tomorrow you don't have to stress? And then the last question I would like to ask you guys, and this is very important to me. If you were to be out of a job today, do you have enough money to be able to survive the next 6 months? Do you have a skoti? You know how we got skotis to buy our clothes? Now, do you have a skoti where you can go and dig? Money that's yours, by the way, not someone else's money. Money that's yours. Do you have a skoti where you can go and find the money that's going to assist you to survive for the next 6 months if you were to go out of a job? Mwah!